So anyways, welcome back to JD and the Sump C pit tile build 2 video. So anyways, today I was going to work on the fence. I have, after digging around in the bits boxes that I have, and they are many, I found some old stuff that was from an orc battle, probably, oh God, 2007, maybe? And I think I have enough fence line here. Amazingly enough, this is the right size. Who knew, building stuff, that long ago was gonna work out, but I seem to have that luck a little bit. Hey, look, another good use for this tool, knocking out old glue. I'm trying to figure out whether I should trim this so that people don't cut themselves. Although I like the idea of people cutting themselves a little bit on my terrain. That way they kind of treat it a little better. I think we're going to have this with this end down. In fact, I think I'm going to trim that down. So I think I have enough pieces here. This really works as a good catch-all, doesn't it? The other thing that I'm kind of trying to figure out at this point is whether I put something on the bottom here to protect that a little bit more during move and things like that. Since I'm even thinking about it, it's probably a good idea. But that should be easy. I'll just get a piece of plastic card or plexiglass and just put it on the bottom there. Because this is obviously a 12-inch tile, because this is the outer part of one of the Games Workshop ones. So I guess first of all, I try to do something like that. This is just hardware cloth. You can get this at any home supply or hardware store. Should be able to have that. All right, we're gonna have this side down. I'm trying to figure out whether I try to get this stuff. Try to get this stuff like this and then attach it, or do I find my poles I'm going to be holding it up with first? I like that. It makes this a little easier, although attaching it's going to be harder. Okay. And on hindsight, leaving little things like, I see the camera's not exactly correct here. Leaving little things like this on here kind of adds another level of character to it. The beat up look it's supposed to be. Well, I thought this was going to be a little easier. Oh, this is foam. Yeah, this is foam. Okay. I think I'm actually going to have to use hot glue to make that work. Okay. All right. I think I figured this part out. I will be right back after I do a few little altercations to things. All right. Bye. Hi. So, anyways, after a lot of bashing around, and, you know, almost hurting myself going through all of my boxes of stuff, I came up with this. I originally had an idea with sprues, which was also going to be, you know, my backup plan. But I wanted to see if I could do anything better. And then I came up, the next thing I had was I have some of these wood things, and I like using wood. I just, there's several things that you can't do with this, or if you do things, you're kind of stuck in what you're doing as far as painting and preparing this kind of stuff. So the next thing I found was a whole bunch of these. Now this is that plastic card I-beam stuff. And of course I began cutting it because this would have been absolutely perfect. But of course I didn't have enough, and I'm not stopping what I'm doing to go shopping for more junk in my life. That had to be shot. So when I did a little bit more digging, I found some of these guys, which is the plastic card size solid rod. I don't remember what size it is. It's the right size. You know, I have several other ones, but basically I just cut them up and then made sure I was wedged on the edge of it here so we could ram it, and then spun it into the foam board. Now the foam board has already been coated with a coat of PVA and water, so it's somewhat sealed. It was a thin coat. I didn't actually want to put the big thick coat that I'm going to use for the textures later on yet, because amazingly enough, I am thinking about lighting this thing. And the problem that I have with lighting stuff, one, I've only ever done it once successfully, and two, I keep forgetting to add that part in when I'm in the build. And I want to try to do some lighting on this. And the thing is that the further and further I get with detailing this stuff, the further away that I have an opportunity to run the lighting. So what I'm trying to do is figure out, because this works. I like this a lot. Oh, yes. And one other thing. I don't normally use glue guns, but in this particular case, it's going to work out good for the start. I am going to be adding a lot more glue to all of this. I've found that as this little building Necromunda terrain thing keeps going, the more and more you can get PVA glue to seal things and varnishes and things like that, the stronger everything is. Who knew? The trick, of course, is to make it thin enough that it's not gumping everywhere. Or if you do want it to gump, you gump correctly. Now, if you notice, I wanted to get some good looking welds on here. And this is the start of the texture. Keen people will realize that no, they are not all the same height. And no, they're not all straight. That is done on purpose. I don't like Necromunda with straight lines. It's personal preference, which is why in that last video when the door went crooked, I was kind of pretty pleased with that, because when I try to make it crooked, it usually doesn't come out the correct way. So, but anyways, yeah, these guys are going to be dual purposed. These are going to be weapons rack hangers, and the fence. And I believe I'm going to actually attach the fence with the hot glue too, at least to start. I did find my last piece of this, which is another textured plastic card piece, which I'm still playing around with this. I like the look of this all together. It seems rather neat. I don't know. I'm going to sit and stare at it for a little while. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to try to attach the fence. I'm sorry I'm not filming this part of it, but there's a lot of swearing involved, and I'm probably going to end up bleeding. And the truth is, if you haven't figured it out from the last video, I get ideas, and then as I'm going, they morph a little bit. And it's hard to talk about that stuff on camera. Anyways, yeah, let me get this fence up, and then we'll take a look at things. All right, be back. Okay, so anyways, after quite a bit of fiddling around, I have not come to grips exactly with how I'm going to attach this yet. I think this is going to end up being, oh, that's upside down. I think this is going to end up being a little bit of a mixture. I don't normally like using the hot glue as much as I have already, but I think it's going to come in handy to get this at least set. Yeah, you know, it's bendy, you know. I'm using it because I found it and it's going to work out real well. This is just hardware cloth, 1/4 inch grid. Pre-pandemic, $1.25 for a foot of 24 inch. It's probably up to $2.50 a foot now. You know, US dollars. I'm not sure what the equivalent in other countries are, but I mean, this is just wire mesh. Why wouldn't they have it there? You buy a foot of 24 inch and you can do anything with it. You can even make shapes. I use this stuff sometimes to make, it's a little difficult at this size, but you know, you can make canopies and, you know, anything that needs a wire, you know, a wire frame to start with. I also managed to scrounge up an actual bottom for this that I'm going to glue on. This is going to be on the bottom. It's going to turn out to be a good decision because the straight foam on the bottom just doesn't, it's not going to take very much damage and wear and everything. One of the other things that I kind of blew over, most of my terrain has to be mobile at some point. I would love to have a spot where I could just have a board, you know, ready to go at any time and just build terrain on the board and just keep going. But all my stuff has to be somewhat packable and mobile. Simply so I have a choice when I do go to some of my gaming group's events. I can bring totes of stuff and we can have choices as to what we want to do. You know, my gaming group's been around for 20 plus years now, and you know, we do all kinds of stuff. You know, from 40K, Necromunda lately with me, because I'm kind of worn out on war games. My buddies just introduced me to both Frostgrave, Stargrave, and Sludge this couple of weekends ago. All look fantastic. There's also Bolt Action that's starting to come in. We're playing Battletech, you know, all kinds of games. But, you know, to make the game even better, you need terrain. And one of the things about all of my builds is first and foremost, I have to be able to pack it up so it won't break, and be able to move it, sometimes cross country. The place where we just did stuff a couple of weekends ago, that's 3.5 hours away, so anyways, rambling. Basically, I think I've got this ready to go. I think I'm gonna do it on camera just to see how this goes. Let me plug this in here. And the other thing I noticed is that I think my children have also absconded the rest of my hot glue, so this is just gonna be a couple of quick shots so that I really have to bend that so it stays a little bit better. And now I'm doing it on camera, so I'm gonna do it wrong. So this is just gonna be targeted stuff, just to get it in a place. Why does it keep doing that? Now I'm getting nervous because I'm doing this in front of you guys. Yeah, that's better. This one needs a little bit of a thing here. Get it on. If you do ever go ahead and use this stuff, I've always found that it's a little bit better if you try to make your folds and everything tight. It tends to really. Oh, there we go. That'll work. Yeah, I think all I'm going to do is I'm going to get some targeted shots just to hold it in place. And then I think I'm going to get some wire, and I'm going to wire up around here and then do a little super glue baking soda on the deal. So, is this thing hot? Hey, it's hot. Excellent. Excellente. So, that dumb thing out of there. Hey, we're gonna. Is it working? Oh, it's on low. That's why. All right. If you ever do get a glue gun, I recommend you get the one that has the high-low function on it. I had it on low when I did this against the styrofoam because I didn't want it to melt too much. But with this, I think we need a little bit more heat. There we go. And once again, this is just targeted, so this thing, doesn't move around on me too much more. Just a couple of spot shots here. Well, you guys get a good full vision of me doing this wrong. Anyways. Hey, look at that. There we are. And it's just little welds. I mean, I'm fairly sure in Necromunda the answer to most problems is just weld it together anyways. So, why wouldn't this be okay? Once again, another level of texture added that wouldn't normally be there. Come on, stay, you stupid thing. And this is only the first part of the gluing of this. There's gonna be some more gluing. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the hot glue, but in this particular case, I think it's gonna be useful. Just to keep this dumb thing in place, because yeah, one of the drawbacks to using this stuff is it is a little springy. I need a little down on the bottom here. There's a good chance that I'm going to be using this to keep this pink tile down to the other piece of plexiglass as well. Boy, I hope I have enough here to keep everything together. And like I said, this is just the start. I'm going to cut some wire and do a couple wraps on all these things here. Oh, come on. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so I took a little side. Here's the tile. I haven't glued it down to the piece of plastic yet, but really? Anyways, I took a little side route here, and I started working on figuring out how to light this. I'm running into a pretty big issue with I have the wrong light set up. So I thought I would buy these things, and you know, amazingly enough, hey, I got the light to work, which is pretty neat. I bought these guys with the AA battery pack, thinking that they would be a little more useful. But I think I have to switch up my thought process on that. So long story short, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make this work. And I don't have any other options for lighting right now. I'm going to have to work on that. But anyways, at this particular point, we're not going to work on lighting anymore. I've already spent about an hour and a half on it and getting things wired up and figuring out other things. I already glued this thing up, or mock glued this thing up a couple of times. And yeah, you know, it's just not going to work. Not this style. I'm going to look into those button battery lighting situations, because I'm thinking we can have one right here. And we can have a couple in here. And it would be neat to have one or two of them down in here too. I think I'm going to switch up and maybe make a couple of purchases, or have a friend of mine 3D print some of those button holders, and then get some different lights. So anyways, I wanted to just get a picture of this with the fence up. Let me, wow, had a little bit of a mishap there. So anyways, this is kind of how it's looking right now. I really like the fence. We need to do some more. Like I said, we need to wire it up and things like that. But this is coming along here. I think it's almost time for me to start decorating a little bit. Okay, anyways, we'll see you in a little while. Okay, so moving forward, we're going to be putting down this piece in the middle, and we're also going to be gluing this to this piece of plexiglass that I have down here. So whenever I usually try to use PVA glue on this. I was using Mod Podge, but you know, you can get a gallon of one of these things for, you know, $30, and you know, it works pretty good. And it's not that much different than Mod Podge. But one of the things that I always like to do, especially when you're doing a flat glue down like this, is to let's rough that surface up. This is just emery cloth. You can use regular sandpaper too. You know, and you want to get a little bit of a rough surface to go with things. Generally lets the glue get in things, and you know, this doesn't have to be, none of this has to be absolutely perfect. The attempt is more, I didn't really make this very useful, did I? Let's fold it up here. We're just going to scratch this up a little bit here. And, you know, this is just the start again. I'm going to use other tools, not tools, but I'm going to use other mediums to decorate this up when we get to the decorating process. Yeah, you know, get a little rag here. Ooh, it's got oil-based paint on it. Paper towel here. Just to get the dust off. Once again, this isn't a piece of equipment that we're going to be using, you know, really. I mean, you want to build it good, but the fact of the matter is, you guys are probably, if you're staying on par here, you're watching that I'm using quite a bit of glue to put all of this together in different forms. Whoop. The other thing about this stuff is that, you know, it's pretty doggone good with gluing foam and things. You don't need an awful lot either. I'm getting to the end of this gallon here. Hey, look at that. There's a little bit, you know, and, you know, the other thing is it's white glue. I don't know about another safer product you can actually have. But yeah, you get all this hobbying stuff. You know, you can go and buy craft, you know, popsicle sticks. You can reuse popsicle sticks too, you know. If you get a little bit too much of this stuff, that's okay. You know, it's not like it's gonna, this pretty much won't hurt anybody. And there's hardly, you know, there's a little bit of a glue smell, but I mean, it's white glue. Everybody seems to have a problem with all the things we use these days, and so what we're gonna do here is set this down, and we're gonna eye it up. Once again, you know, I am okay with things being crooked in the underhive and on most of these builds. I don't know what it is with everybody wanting to have absolute stark, you know, it has to be square, and you know, I'm kind of don't understand. Oh, come on. This little piece right here doesn't really need a lot. We're going to be gooping a whole bunch of other junk up inside here. And, you know, that's about all you really need right there. That might be too much. And yes, I'm getting glue on my fingers. Oh my God. Almost like we're in kindergarten again. I mean, or primary school in other countries, I guess. I don't know. Play with stuff, get your hands messy, not be so exact. Maybe go out of your way to not be that exact. And people will disagree, and, you know, that's kind of how things are sometimes. Alrighty, so all we're gonna do is we're gonna try to center this. Once again, I kind of hope it's crooked a little bit. Those are happy accidents. I mean, the whole concept of this, I'm pretty sure, was that it fell from above. And then the little underhivers, they made this work, you know, because they don't have, all their resources are falling from above. And I kind of like to take that to the exact nth. But anyways, the other nice thing about this stuff is that it works as a little stay, and then we're gonna let this dry, and I'll be back. See you in a bit. Hi. Okay, so anyways, move forward a little bit after I kind of hemmed and hawed about the lighting situation. We will come back to that later. But I glued this bad boy down here, and we're gonna work on a little bit of decoration on what we're gonna do, you know, in this area here. So obviously the first thing, because we're on Necromunda, is we need some ladders. And I'm trying to figure out whether I want to do just one or actually two at this point. I'm going to need more ladders on this. But as always, dropping things left and right. The nice thing about these particular ones is they go with this kit. And there's a little dot right there, which that's neat. It's running into the fence though, which is kind of where I'm having a little issue with. There is a spot on the side here. Oh, look at that. Huh. Well, that works fantastic. Okay. Yeah, one of the problems with this stuff right now is that the other tile's drying, so I can't just pull it over and back and check. But, okay, so I actually like that. Goes in nice and easy. I think we'll do that on both sides here, just to start. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I do on this second level here is their stuff shouldn't have as much grandeur as the stuff up here. Well, that door was working really well. The other thing that has to happen is I did want at least a gun position up here, and I really like the idea of a searchlight here, something that's a spotlight. That's a neat idea, and I think I want to go down that road a little bit. Yeah, let me just pull these guys out here. I have to always remember the reason this is tilting so much and not staying straight is because my workbench that I built several years ago is now starting to not be square anymore, which is, well, that's a, you know, that happens. There's a little bit of flashing running up and down this, but that's a ladder, so that's okay. I like cleaning up stuff, but sometimes you really have to, just to move forward with a project, I don't really feel like cleaning most stuff today, so we did quite a bit of work on the other part of the tile today with cleaning things up and sanding and gluing. You know, I just don't, not everything has to be exact. I keep saying that, and yet I keep coming back and trying to make it somewhat exact. All right, so we're going to use this hexagon. Yeah, I'm going to use that one, and we're going to use this one. So are we just going to glue it up top? Interesting. They just knocked down something silly. Okay. Well, looks like we're gonna have to trim the ladders a bit. I think I'm gonna trim the bottoms of these just to bring it up to the bottom. That way I can get a good glue seal there. Oh, they're two different kinds of ladders. That's probably what's going on. Ooh. Oh, buddy. Okay. Yeah, I know. Sitting here absolutely skiving about gluing ladders. But it is an important part of the terrain. In fact, some of the players might argue that it's the most important part of the terrain. Otherwise, how are you going to get up? And they would not be wrong. Come on. Show everybody another point of how I just can't actually do this stuff correctly. Yeah, all right. I'm attempting to not make mistakes 2 and 3 times in front of you guys, but I think that's a pipe dream. Yeah. And yes, the way I do things, there's super glue that gets on your fingers. My goodness. There we go. That's a little better. Not too bad. All right. This is one of the advantages of using that gel glue. Lots of people probably be saying, why don't you use styrene cement? Which is superior to super glue. I agree. Unless you have to buy a bottle of it every week because your children pilfer it. Then, because styrene's not exactly the cheapest product there is. I do agree that when gluing plastic to plastic, it is one of the better ones in most case scenarios. Some of the things that I do, though, I need to have a full range of stuff. And then, of course, you throw in the issue that I have little goblins taking my stash with no warning whatsoever. Yeah, you know. So, anyways, I'm going to get a few other things set. I think I'm actually going to have them sitting on half barrels. I think we're going to do that trick. All right, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so, little bit of work. I added some barrels for seating. I cut those barrels in half. Little 3-pack that comes with a container kit. I added a few rails up top here. There's 2 ladders to get to the upper deck, and then there's 1 ladder to get down here. I was playing around with putting railings on this. It just doesn't work as far as models are concerned. You know, I mean, it looks cool and everything, but its playability is rather, it doesn't work. Not rather anything, it just doesn't work. I think I'm going to put railings here, and I think then I'm going to call this kind of decorated up for the time frame as far as gluing other crap on. Well, as far as this piece, I do have to glue some stuff inside here. Yeah, I can't forget about that. But yeah, we're gonna get some more rails up here, and then we're gonna probably just let this dry for a day or two. So yeah, that's kind of it for modeling today. We'll see you when I start the next phase. Thanks.